Hey everybody, it's Nathan again, and this is Take 10, an art challenge where I take 10 minutes out of my day to draw or something for myself. A little bit out of it today. I've been sick today, so I've been hiding from the sun all day and taking as much medicine as I can get. But time marches on, and I feel a bit better, so I'm going to go ahead and do something. My plan today was to try to do gouache painting on this panel here that I've prepared. It's just a piece of watercolor paper mounted on MDF. I probably won't get that far, obviously not in this video, but I got some prelim sketches to do, so I thought I'd share that with you guys at least. The idea I was having was to do a rhino warrior, like a rhinoceros man, kind of a barbarian thing, sword and shield. And the second thought, maybe an axe. That seems more fitting a barbarian and a rhino. What I'm doing here is just thumbnails, tiny little sketches to sort of choose a composition. I mentioned earlier about trying to do better composition and more deliberate stuff. So instead of just jumping straight into the painting, I'm going to do some prelim sketches and see what I can do with that. I'm trying to find a dynamic pose that still conveys the effect of solidity, weight, because I want this guy to feel like he weighs 1,000 pounds. He probably would. Let's see, if I fill the frame like this with him, sit down like that. He needs to look menacing. I'm just drawing with a mechanical pencil, but it's a flattened lead. Not sure if you can see that on the camera. Instead of being round, the lead is like a rectangular shape, like a very thin rectangle. It's cool because you can do wide lines like that and still do thin lines, and it gives you an unexpected kind of texture. This is a plain old piece of copy paper, so that's what I usually do my sketches on. It's cheap and it's easy to get. Takes most dry media okay. Nothing permanent on here anyway. The only problem is it's not bound in anything, so if I want to refer to this piece of paper later, I've got to put it somewhere I can find it. That's always the tough part. I seem to be hung up on this angle, this sort of downward facing, shifted to the right angle kind of thing. I guess that's the most dynamic angle, because your eyes read left to right in a Western culture, and its focal point wants to be off center, like that. That's okay. I guess the most important parts of this image, communicatively, and trying to think like an illustrator, is the story I'm telling here. Is that he's a badass barbarian rhino guy. So giving him shoulders makes him look more like a guy. The head obviously is like a rhino, and the barbarian part I have to use sort of accessories, like maybe a strap bandolier here, a belt, sword belt thing. This doesn't leave a lot of room for the axe or weapon of any kind, but yeah. I'm also drawing on top of my cardboard setting that I paint on, so I'm getting a lot of rough texture coming through from that too, but it's cool. It doesn't matter for this, these are just thumbnails. I should be doing silhouettes probably first to get the composition layout. So if he's shaped like that, keep that downward motion, and I'm going to keep it interesting and not just guide you off the page. So I need something here. Maybe the shield can be in this hand. Like that kind of thing, like he's leading with the shield. Then I can try to do the hand with just the suggestion of an X. It's not bad. Kind of got up movement across the axe and then down across the shoulder, focal point, down into the shield. If I angle the shield like this, it'll bring you back into the center of the body, which put some sort of details here to lead you back to the hand. So you want to, from what I've been reading in composition and what I remember from art school, if you're going to lead them into the painting of here, you want to keep it going. This will be your focal, in my case. They're going to go to this anyway. But you want to make sure once they leave the focal point, they're going to keep going right naturally, because that's just the way we read. And if there are details there, they'll go there. So you have this shield or something, which will turn them back going this way. And then in here, the chest will be, you have to have some kind of running detail like that belt. That'll lead them back to something like the hand. And then the shaft of the axe will lead them back up here. So you end up with this cycle where they go like this. And they still have the focal point. So if you're not going to do a composition that leads everything to the focal point, like that, a lot of compositions are like that. That's really strong too, because it just sort of, it traps them in the middle of the painting, and that's good. You want to focus it. But I wanted to sort of lead them around like a comic book panel would do. And this is all based on nothing in particular, except studying a lot of classical paintings and art school, at least years ago, so I could be very well making this up. Okay, so if you want to do something like composition, my thumbnail face is about here. I'm going to try to drop the head down, almost like he's in charge mode. Rhinoceros look much more menacing when they're charging, rather than just sitting around eating grass or whatever it is. Those ears are totally wrong. I was talking about reference before. I'm going to need a lot of reference for this, because I don't know how to draw a rhino well enough to make it look like a rhino. Cut it like that. Maybe a round shield to match the contours of his body. He's going to be a big muscular type guy, but I want him to feel rounded. Okay, so the two horns. Might even use his horns to sort of lead us back up and around like this. So that shoulder becomes very important. The giant hand, because it's closer to us, theoretically. And we choked way up on it, so the axe head is like here. Something like that. I'm sure I'm going to have to modify this axe too, because it doesn't look very good. But if I keep that curve, maybe I can do like a Frazetta Death Dealer kind of axe. In fact, this whole fantasy animal thing reminds me of Frazetta. And Frazetta's always a huge influence. I could have picked him for inspiration of the day anytime. But I think he will be the artist of inspiration for today. Frank Frazetta, fantasy illustrator par excellence. My French is almost as bad as my English. Anyway, great illustrator. Everyone who does fantasy sci-fi or anything like that owes him a debt, I think. He's one of the reasons the industry is respected, and artists like that are able to sell books and things of their own work now instead of just doing jobs for companies. He helped make it into something respectable as an art, as a style of art. And super points for being a badass. Let's see, maybe if I take the head of the axe up like this, I can sort of lead them up and then back down into the shoulder. If I rotate the whole thing like that, just the panel border like this, keep it like that. So the rhino is more like, I think that's the opposite of what I want. I want the rhino down like that. Okay, so rotate it more like this. I know this isn't very helpful for anybody. Sorry about that. It's just kind of me thinking my way out of here. At any rate, I believe that's about my time. My battery's probably going to die again because I was using really cheap replacements. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for the comments. Hopefully I'm helping entertain or inform, or at least giving you something to listen to while you draw, or paint, or whatever it is you like to do. I'll be back tomorrow with more stuff. Might be working on this, might be working on something else. We'll just see how it goes. Everybody take care, and as always, keep making stuff.